Hi, this is Sam from CelloGraph and welcome back to another video. So as the smartphone competition is growing crazy, it has become a lot more difficult to pick a smartphone, especially if you're looking for a mid-range device. 3-4 years back, people used to prefer Samsung or Motorola or any other Chinese brand, but now the tables have turned. Chinese manufacturers have developed a trust among smartphone users worldwide. They not only started making reliable phones, but they've also pushed the limits by giving all of the modern features in much affordable price bracket. Definitely they are not as superior as the high-end flagship phones, but the difference margin is very small from the specs point, but very big from the price point. And here is my new daily driver, the Realme 5 Pro. A perfect example of what I just mentioned. Being a phone under $250 US, it's offering great value for money. It's got Snapdragon 712 10nm chipset, Adreno 616 GPU, 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage, which is expandable via dedicated microSD card slot, 6.3 inches FHD Plus resolution IPS LCD panel, 4035 mAh battery, 20 watts fast charging, quad camera setup on the back, as well as this crazy design pattern which is not for everyone, but if you're into glossy and shiny looking phones, you're gonna love it. It's built with plastic on the sides and on the back of the phone, but still it feels a little heavy, which gives it a little glimpse of holding a premium phone. The display on this phone is good. Its screen resolution is 1080 x 2340 pixels with 19:9 aspect ratio. It's plenty sharp and shows accurate colors, the viewing angles are good, and the screen can get 450 nits bright, making it easy to read content under direct sunlight. There's a small water drop notch at the top for a 16 megapixels front camera. There is no in-display fingerprint scanner on this phone. It has an old-school rear-mounted fingerprint scanner, which is more accurate and quicker. The single down-firing speaker is loud, but the sound quality isn't impressive. It does the job, but I've heard better speakers in the same price bracket. It's a really snappy phone for day-to-day usage, thanks to the efficient Snapdragon 712 chipset, which packs a real punch for a device at this price. I have 8GB variant with me. There's also a 4GB variant available in Pakistani market. It felt fast and zippy on my usage. Everything I throw at it worked without stuttering or lags. I play PUBG daily on this phone. It can run PUBG at HD without any lag. I've also tried other high-end games as well, and it has delivered a smooth gaming experience. And I can easily recommend this phone to gamers who cannot afford the high-end flagship phone. It's running the latest ColorOS version 7, which is based on Android 10. And I personally like their new polished, still colorful, still very customizable operating system. It's got 4035 mAh battery, and during my testing, I'm getting 6+ hours of screen on time on normal usage and 4 hours on high intense usage, which includes gaming while sharing hotspot connection. It's decent enough to provide you a day of heavy usage on single charge, and it supports 20 watts Whoop Charge 3.0 via USB Type-C, which takes around 80 minutes to charge the device fully. It's got 4 cameras on the back. Top one is 8 megapixels ultra wide angle lens with f2.2. Then there's a 48 megapixels main shooter with f1.8. Then it's got 2 megapixels portrait sensor, and the last one is an interesting 2 megapixels macro lens. Let's talk about the main camera first. It's a great sensor from Sony. The shots are good in broad daylight condition with good color reproduction and dynamic range. 2x zoom photos are also crisp, but there's a slight shift in color which is noticeable if you put both pictures side by side. There's a dedicated 48 megapixels mode if you want highly detailed and more saturated photos, but remember you can zoom in when capturing in that mode. It does a good job in low light conditions as well. Its dedicated night mode takes 3 seconds to process a photo, and the results speaks for themselves. The portrait shots are also good. It does really good job in accurately separating the background from the objects in focus. The photos with the 8 megapixels wide angle lens are usable under ideal lighting conditions. They are not really sharp, but for social media posts, the photos are okay. The colors are a bit on a cooler side, and it produces way soft images when capturing indoor or artificial lighting due to smaller aperture size. The wide angle lens is good to have in this price range, but it's not a confident shooter. And I have yet to test out a phone under 50k with a good wide-angle lens, so you have to deal with it. The 2 megapixels macro lens is a good inclusion in a smartphone's camera setup. Unfortunately, it's the only macro lens that I have used on a smartphone yet, so it's really hard to make a judgment here. But if I'm being honest, it does the job with enough details. taking a decent photo with this macro lens is a tough job since the focal length is fixed at 4 cm. But when you do get it right, the picture quality is acceptable.
It's got 16 megapixels front-facing camera. If you take a lot of selfies on your phone, then you're gonna love its selfie camera because it takes really high-quality selfies.
With the main camera, it can shoot videos up to 4K at 30 fps, 1080 at 60 or 30 fps, and 720p slow-mo at 960 frames. These are really good numbers, and it would have been a perfect mid-range main shooter if it had optical image stabilization, because it can shoot really high-quality videos as well. The electronic stabilization is just not enough to capture smooth videos. Nonetheless, it's still a good camera phone in this price range. So yeah, I can easily recommend this phone to people who are running on budget and are not willing to compromise much in the overall performance. So that's it in this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe.